Jay Hartley. I'm founder of A Cloud of My Own. And our goal is to protect you from the things in your home. So, sounds a little ominous. One thing I set up over here is I have a network, just like a home network. I have a few internet things. And then A Cloud of My Own is running right here on this network. So, what does it mean to protect you from the things on your network? Internet of Things, everybody's getting used to smart homes, home automation, right? You can turn on and off your lights. Okay? You can connect your lights, your plugs. You can connect your thermostat, your air conditioning, pretty much anything you can think of. And usually there's a hub involved, whether it's Alexa, whether it's Siri, whether it's Apple. So we work with all those, just so you know. So the downside of this technology is that it has tremendous risks. There was a casino, to be not unnamed in the press, last spring, which someone connected an internet thermometer to their aquarium, just like you would connect anything in your home. So this is a company that had spent $10–20 million on internet security. That thermometer, within a week, had been hacked, and the users that hacked that reached in and pulled the high net worth, high roller database out of that casino and walked away with it. So that gives you an idea of what the amount of security on these type of devices is, right? So that's where we come in, that's what we're trying to protect you against. The folks like Amazon and Apple and Google, they have a lot of money and a brand to protect, so they're gonna spend a lot of money on their security. Someone that's selling you a $20 switch, not so much. Don't expect a patch from them to protect somebody from hacking that switch. So what's the risk, right? I'm at home. I don't have a lot of risk. I don't have a bunch of high roller friends that I know of. I could use some if anybody wants to volunteer. But what can people do with this? Think of it as the person in the red car here. If you saw them sitting outside your home with a camera, stalking you out every day, watching when you came, when the lights went off, that's what's happening, right? Somebody manages to get into one of these devices in your home, they're just like that bottom picture. They're in there, they're watching you, they can start profiling you. They know when you come home, they know when the lock's unlocked, when they lock. They know when the lights go on, lights go off, temperature goes up, temperature goes down. So there's a high probability that somebody, or something, it's not necessarily a person that's coming after you, but there are bots out there and hacker nets that are going to look for devices that are open. It happens continuously all the time, and that will profile you or your location, and that will become valuable. Right? So there's one of the risks. Then there's the other risks like an ex or an enemy of some kind from a harassment perspective, right? They can come in, they can play with your lights. There's a lot of things they can do that are certainly something you'd want to avoid. So the next question, and the question I used to have, isn't that what that firewall that you buy or that the cable company gives you, aren't they supposed to be monitoring that and making sure none of this happens? Firewalls on the consumer side, remember the enterprise is completely different. Firewalls cost a lot more, they're highly maintained, there are devices that look continuously at the network and look for security risks like this, and there's a whole staff that's involved in protecting those entities. The firewall that you have at home, pretty much, if you ask a question anywhere in the world, it will allow that answer to come back. There's almost no learning that happens in these firewalls. You plug them in. The cable company isn't actively managing your firewall. They may be from their perspective, right? They want to protect their network. They're not going to be looking at what's happening within your home. So it's really a chance that a problem that has to be solved. The industry's looking to solve it, but they're looking to solve it through legislation at the device level, which will happen eventually, but what we see is an opportunity to solve it now through a device that you can add on to your existing network. So what we've developed is a simple touchscreen device, plugs into your existing network. You then connect all your devices through this network. It's going to monitor the behavior. What we've done is we started compiling a list of how these devices behave, where they're talking to. Quick question for the group. When I turn that light on and off, do you think that when I push the button to say that light go off, does it actually talk to that light directly? You would think so, right? You're pointing at it, it's going on and off. It turns out that that particular light, when I push this button, it talks to a server in Oregon, and this light is continuously asking that server in Oregon, should I be on or should I be off? Should I be on or should I be off? And you'll see that all day long. That's all that thing does. Am I on? Am I off? So, not the brightest of devices. Let me jump quick. Where are we? So one of the differences that we feel, the same way that, has anybody set up a home network at home, change out the firewalls? You plug it in, the terrifying thing, right? You're taking down your family's network. You better get it back up pretty quickly. Yeah. And then you start fiddling with either a web browser they tell you to go to, some magic page, and all of a sudden it shows up. How you're going to configure this with a default username and password, of course. Or there's an app. From our perspective, anything that uses an app by default to control your security device is, by definition, a security risk. So our device, when you start it up, it's going to tell you, first of all, it only knows itself. It's completely sealed. Nothing plugs into it. Through the touch screen, it will give you a default, a cloud of my own username. You can change it if you'd like. And it will give you a random password. By the way, required by the state of California starting in 2 years. But we're ahead of the curve on that one. And then so you're manually controlling it through the device. If you want to then connect to the network and start using your computer because it's easier, you can allow it through the touchscreen. Once you allow it, and then it will shut itself back off again. The key from a security perspective, and I think a unique differentiator for us, is that ability to lock this down. If somebody's going to hack it, if this is completely sealed, the only interface is the front screen of this device, you have a huge barrier in order to a third party to come after you and attack your device. So hopefully I've been hitting most of these bullets because I haven't been reading them at all. That was actually the picture of our device talking to that server in Oregon right there, see? So we're continuously monitoring anything that connects to your network. When you connect a new device to the network, it will allow it on for a second. It will snapshot and then tell you, is this a device you're trying to configure? Because you configure it once, so you have to work it through the interface. You allow it on, and then what we do is we analyze the behavior. We know what its default should be, who it should be talking to, how often it should talk, what kind of data loads it should be moving around. And we look at the various dimensions, and then if it starts to have an anomaly, we'll shut it off, we'll block it, and then let you know. I was going to do a quick demo, but I have to say it would be very tough to do that. So I think I'm going to jump right to the question and answers.
Great.
Oh,
yes.
I have some time? Okay.
Yep.
I did want to point this out. So this is the, actually what started my idea 3 years ago. I bought this on Amazon.com, nothing against Amazon. Plugged it in, a quick monitor. Anybody have a web camera at home, right? My son wasn't sleeping well. I wanted the ability to watch to see, make sure he was asleep, he wasn't sneaking in out to the kitchen. And I just noticed the video was lagging. And so I got very frustrated with it because I knew that everyone was going to blame me. I'm the tech guy. And so I started looking at what was happening, and I noticed that the traffic from this device, every time I asked to look at that video, it was bouncing through China and back. And so basically I put it back in the box. I got it out tonight just to bring it in. But it was my first, I had never thought of the idea that these devices are invisible to you. You have no idea who they're talking to, whether they're talking to the right person, whether it's the authorized person they're talking to. So that was the initial idea that I came up with of what needed to be solved.